Hello. I guess some of you probably already seen some previous videos that I done in YouTube. In this case, I will probably begin a series of YouTube videos that I will be doing with my godson, Oshuntoki. And in this case, I wanted to begin at the beginning. And I would like to call this video Santeria 101. And the reason why I wanted to start this way is because many people contact me daily asking me for different things about this religion and tradition. And some of you out there have very little or no knowledge of the history of this religion. When we talk about so-called Santeria, who in reality is a Spanish term that refers to the worship of saints. The ancestors, the true owners and masters of this religion and tradition in Africa, back when in the days they didn't have no concept or idea of the term saint. They called their deities Orishas. And Ori is the center of consciousness that every human being has. And Sa will represent a protector of that consciousness. People don't realize that this is one of the most ancient religions in the planet, because the true name of this religion will call Ifa, because Ifa in reality represents everything that was ever created, was still will be created by Olokun, the supreme God of our religion. This is a religion that originated in Africa, West Africa, and mainly in a country that today we call it Nigeria. But back in the days was a larger and bigger area of the kingdom of the Yoruba people. So another correct way to call this religion and tradition will be to call it a Yoruba tradition or Ifa. Santeria is a term he was adopted when it was introduced in the Americas through the slavery trade. And when I arrived to the coast of Cuba, Dominican Republic, and some other parts of Central America, and because the original slaves were obligated to convert to Catholicism, and they began to syncretize the belief in their deities with some of the patron saints of the Catholic Church, the term Santeria was born. Today, with the passage of the years, the Afro-Cuban tradition became one of the most popular representatives of this tradition. Even so, in places like Brazil, this tradition is very strong and is called candomblé. But also exists in other parts of the Caribbean, like in Trinidad Tobago, some parts of Jamaica, some parts of Belize, some parts of Honduras, Salvador. And in the latest years, it's become very popular in the United States of America. The religion was introduced originally in the United States in the early 50s, before the revolution in Cuba in 59. But it certainly became extremely popular after the 80s with the famous Mariel immigration of Cubans into the United States. And why I want to call it Santeria 101? Because a lot of people comes to this religion with very little or no knowledge. And they wanted to be introduced into religion and be part of the religion, thinking they will turn you into Harry Potter. And you will be able to make wizardry and miracles and transformations. And that the Orishas are something like genies in a lamp, the grand wishes when we offer them something. Nothing can be more wrong. Even Harry Potter went to 6 to 7 movies as starting as a child to become a full-grown man, to a school of wizardry to become the real wizard in the last movie. Well, the same way, this is a tradition that takes many years to learn, many personal sacrifices to do, and is a result of an apprenticeship. Originally, and when I was initiated, this religion was from mouth to ear, in practice by the side of one of your godparents, being a padrino or a madrina, a godfather or a godmother. The first step that should be done when we wanted to become part of this religion, it will be to find out who is the Orisha who comes as a companion into your life when you are born in this plane. And most people go to find out what we done to call guardian angel, thinking that the guardian angel, male or female, Orisa male, Orisa female, chose you. When in reality, it's you who chose the Orisha before even you came to this plane and were born. When your consciousness goes to the palace of Ori to look for his destiny, it chooses an Orisha who has similarities in the Yorori fields that will be the best companion to guide you and protect you in your life. So when you go to find out who is your guardian Orisha, it's also a discussion who is empowered to decide who is your guardian Orisha. And there's two different lines of belief in this. One, who I don't take any power away from it, is going to a babalao and at the feet of Orula and a plante, Orumila will determine who is your guardian angel. And the reason why Orumila is a perfect one to do it is because, first of all, he is the Orisha of destiny, the one who knows the destiny of every single human being, every animal, every tree, every rock on the planet. And the second way to do it, the one that I also believe personally, is the Elewa can determine who is your guardian angel. I know that a lot of people will discrepate with me by saying this, but I do believe, honestly, the Elewa is empowered to do it, because Elewa, when we crown, is the one who will determine who is our father or mother in Ocha, and it will determine also who are the avatars of our different Orishas, and finally he will do Delbo de Stera to do the cleansing after the Ita. Thereafter, I do believe the Elekwa, who is a path of issue and who always existed, has the power to determine this. But I do respect the people who chooses to do it with Orumila too. I done it both ways. Some of my children, we determine it with Orumila. Most of my children, I determine it with Elewa. And of the 119 children I crowned, I never had any problem. I chose or I determined an incorrect Orisha. But nevertheless, when we know who is our guardian angel, then we proceed to become an Aborisha. An Aborisha means a follower of the Orishas. And we will be having our baptism by receiving mainly the 5 principal ilekes of our religion, or necklaces of our religion. There will be Elewa, Obatala, Ochun, Yimaya, and Shango. There are cases that when we don't know who is the guardian angel of a person, and that person wants to have the necklaces, in that case, we will give those necklaces through Obatala, because Obatala mastered all the heads of every human being. If we do know who is the guardian angel, then in that case, we will do it through that specific guardian angel. But originally are the same regular 5 necklaces. In the case that we're an Orisha outside of these 5 principal Orishas, we will have to add on the necklace, Ileke, of that Orisha. It could be Oya, it could be Inle, it could be Orisha Oko, can be Ochosi, can be Ogun. And in that case, we will have to add on those necklaces as long as the godfather or godmother who will be giving those ilekes had received that Orisha. If I don't have an Orisha, a specific Orisha, I cannot give to nobody the necklace of that Orisha. I have to be in the possession of that Orisha to be empowered and entitled to give that necklace to somebody. Now you are an Aborisha, a follower of the Orishas. And you will have what we call a rompimiento. You will be bathed, your old clothes will be destroyed, you will be changing all in white, you will get a rogation in your head, your godfather or godmother will kneel you down, and it will be giving you one by one the different ileques, consecrated, being washed and fed of the Orishas. Now you become officially a godchild of the house of your godfather or your godmother. And as a member of the house, now you are an official godchild of the house. The following step will be to receive actual Orishas. And the first ones that we will be given are called, or what we call, the warriors, the defenders, what we call the forest Orishas. And then we will be give you an Elegua. And Elegua has many paths, as many paths as we have roads of life. In our tradition, we believe there are 256 different paths of life. Thereafter, that many variety of eleguas can be. Some is just in a stone that we call otasiwayu. It can be made in a conch shell. It can be made out of wood. It can be made out of cement. It can have one face, can have two faces. We will be giving you Ogun, the Orisha of iron. And it will be a cauldron of iron with 7 different tools and a stone who embodies the spirituality of Ogun. And that religion, if it doesn't have a stone, it's not Orisha. The stone embodies the spirituality of the Orisha. With Ogun lives a secondary Orisha called Oshosi, the hunter, the divine hunter. And many people refers him as the patron of law, because he was the hunter of Olofi, God, who provided for food for the village, but also have a magic bow and arrow who he could hunt for the guilty parties when they committed some felonies. And Ogun and Ochosi had a pact together, so they share the same container. So there have been cases that I've seen a cauldron with only one stone in the warriors, when in reality should be 2. One that represents Ogun and one that represents Ochosi. And the 4th Orisha that is being given with the warriors will be Osu. And Osu is a metal cup with a leg with a little rooster on top. Very important Orisha, who represents our stability and protects and guides our head. Has a rooster on the top because it's the first animal that wakes up in the morning. 4:30 in the morning, begin to crow, announcing the presence of God in our plane. Has a plate who represents the tablero de Orula, or the Atepong. Has 4 little chains with jingle bells that represents the 4 cardinal points. as a little cup who has elements inside when it's charged by the God parent, who represents the world, has a column that represents our spine and legs, and it has a base that represents our feet. These four Orishas, Elewa, Ogun, Ochosi, Osun, represents the warriors. And they are the first Orishas that we receive in our tradition. If we move on in our tradition, probably the next Orisha to receive is Olokun. And Olo means honor, Kun, the ocean, the master of the ocean, the one who lives in the depth of the ocean. Some people refers to him like the Kraken of the Greeks, this monstrous figure that lives in the bottom of the ocean. In some of the Nigerian venues, Olokun is a male. In some, it's a female. And in some, in the Afro-Cuban tradition, is hermaphrodite, has male, female, in the same Orisha. And Olokun brings to our life a stability, emotional, economical, religiously. And after this, people can move into the crowning of the religion. Today I was reading on Facebook about people who needs to be initiated before crowning in the Mayombe. And these are people who will be scratched in the front of a cauldron, who can be Lucero Mundo, can be Sarabanda, can be Siete Rayos, can be Madre Agua, can be Mamachola, different types of cauldrons. And people have some kind of confusions and contradictions in between our tradition, the Ocha tradition, and the Palo tradition, not understanding they are separate religions. And they don't have to contradict each other. There were some of the religions that arrived from Africa into Cuba. 26 different races of people from Africa arrived in the slavery trade into Cuba. Some people introduced the Yoruba tradition, mostly the descendants of the people who came from a specific kingdom in the Yoruba land called Oyo. Some people came from Congo and brought the Congolese tradition, what we done to call Mayombe or Palo. And other people came from the Carabali race, and they brought what we call Abacua tradition. They also exist in Cuba. The last ones to arrive in the slavery trade were the Babalaos. But when the Babalaos arrived in the late 1800s, for more than 150 years, this tradition was already practiced and did initiations in Cuba. And if we didn't have Babalaos, how they determined who was the so-called guardian angel of the person? Well, the Obasas, female Obases, were the first ones to determine the guardian angels and who did the initiations at the beginning. It was much later when the men took over the position and pushed away the women's, and they began to be the ones in charge of being the masters of ceremonies, when before were all females. This is the basic and the beginning of how we get into this religion. In future videos, I will go a little bit deeper. What it signifies to be an Orisha, a person who knows the secrets and the rites and practices of the Orishas. And we will be talking more specifically about the different Orishas with the different initiations. But we have to understand that being a Santero or an Orisha or a follower of the Orishas is not a fad. It's not a fashion. It's not something that we do because it's something interesting or fashionable or will empower me, they believe me, superior in any shape, way, or form to other humans. When in reality, when we become Santeros, we have to learn to be more patient and humble in reference to other humans. And our function is to try to guide and help people through our religion. But our religion doesn't preach. Our religion doesn't proselytize. We don't stay in corners, we pull horns. We don't go on Saturdays or Sundays knocking doors in people's houses. Every single person who came in touch with a Santero or a Babalao or a Spiritista or a Palero, they came looking for us. We never go looking for nobody. Till next time, thank you and may your Batala bless you.